Hello and welcome to another episode of the Minor Issues Podcast. I'm Mark Thornton at the Mises Institute. It is conventional wisdom that people who consider themselves to be environmentalists, that they are intending to save the planet, its resources, and usually the human population from anticipated self-destruction. From an analytic view, however, there are many reasons to doubt the environmentalists' ability to achieve their ends with their chosen means. That is, the means that they have chosen to achieve their ends often backfire in many ways, and several of these critiques against environmentalism cast them, the environmentalists, into the role of wasting valuable natural resources, often harming the prospects of future generations. Now, here we are going to examine the use of natural fuels, which is a critical driver of the human standard of living. Environmentalists want to replace the use of fossil fuels with renewable fuels such as wind power and solar power. This transition involves a myriad of resources, but I'm going to focus here today on the metallic element of silver, which is a pivotal component of alternative energies. Here we will simplify the analytics, beginning with the difference between what can be seen by us all and what is not seen except with the assistance of economic glasses. Then we will introduce the widely accepted human motivation for individual betterment and the profit-maximizing behavior of entrepreneurs. This gives us certain results, which we can all agree. The environmentalist argument is that we need to restrict our use of non-renewable natural resources, including oil and coal, because once we have used them all up, we will be forever without them, a negative externality for humans in the future. Now, this argument has subsequently been extended in the case of non-renewable energy resources, again, such as coal and oil. And here, the use of resources is said to create yet another negative externality in the form of air pollution. Indeed, this argument declares that such pollution will lead to global warming and climate change, which will make the future inherently more difficult and could snub out human existence. Now, this line of reasoning is for many reasons in obvious doubt and belongs in a category of arguments that can be labeled the doomsday position, where you must simply accept someone's policy preference or else we're all dead. The alternative, conservationist position is that people will naturally conserve resources for future use and the future more generally. The evidence for this comes from the human proclivity to acquire and amass more resources over time. History, archaeology, and your county clerk office catalog this accumulation, which began with the establishment of individual property rights a few thousand years before Christ. Look all around you. The available known resources, both renewable and non-renewable, are all at all-time high levels. The key to this accumulation and our reluctance to overuse and depreciate resources and their inventories is property rights, where owners benefit both from using resources today, but can also benefit from using such resources in the future. Now, with market prices and interest rates, Owners can make precise calculations of whether it is more profitable to use resources today or to save them for the future. If you cut down and sell all your trees today, then it means that my trees will be worth a little more in the future and will continue to grow in value over time. Owners are simultaneously making other complex speculative calculations about capital goods and various types of labor, all guided by the profit motive, all interconnected in the global economy. So now let's get to silver and environmental policy. Governments have adopted various policies to artificially restrict the use of certain resources, such as coal, oil, uranium, while simultaneously providing various subsidies to alternative energy sources that are renewable, such as solar power and wind power. These resources can be used to produce electricity so that we can do without some coal, oil, and nuclear power. Now, rank and file supporters may not perceive this, but the experts on the side of environmental policies recognize that alternative energy sources are currently more expensive, but do come without the dreaded environmental cost, supposedly. However, their position holds that these alternative approaches to energy will become increasingly less expensive over time and substitute for an increasing share of our needs over time. Okay, so most people tend to think of silver in ornamental applications of the past, like coined money, jewelry, and expensive tableware and tea sets. Now, the real world is very different. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, mirrors made with silver coating allowed the rank and file of humanity to see itself for the first time. Silver is what made it possible for us to use cameras to create photographic images and X-ray images of the inside of our bodies. Silver is a key element in technological applications today, especially in areas such as electronics of all sorts, medicine, and a wide variety of industries. The element's unique properties will ensure that silver remains a key to the future of our health and happiness of the human population. It's in your cell phones, your computers, your automobiles, water filtration systems, and even some clothing in small amounts. Of course, it's very difficult to recycle. It's also being used in large quantities in applications such as solar panels, battery technology, and high-tech electronic systems. These applications are also currently difficult to recycle. Silver is very scarce on the earth and currently sells for over $600 a pound. It does not occur naturally in concentrated forms very often, and often it comes to us in just a few grams per ton of ore, and is often only profitable to obtain as a byproduct of mining other metals such as copper, zinc, and lead. Many of the richest sources of silver have already been mined out. Silver production has been in a deficit to consumption now for more than 5 years, for the first time in history. The point is that environmental policy subsidies have vastly expanded silver consumption in the form of solar panels and electric vehicles, etc., which need constant replacement and are difficult to recover and often prohibitively expensive to recycle. This is a waste of large amounts of a critical economic resource that is keenly important for the future of technology and from protecting us from environmental harms. It would appear that supporters of the environmental position are unaware that their policies are wasting vast amounts of a critical and non-renewable natural resource, silver, or alternatively, they just don't care. The beauty of the conservationist approach that I outlined earlier is that it is based on a well-established human motivation, and it gets input from self-interested individuals from around the world, and it's backed up by thousands of years of evidence.